Some scumbucket just stole one of your images and is using it on their Facebook page, is using it on social media, is using it on their website. What are you going to do about it? Well, in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Who am I? My name is Mike Patterson. I've been a professional full-time photographer located here in Southern Alberta, Canada for over 38 years. I also run a full-service photo lab. I did a video not too long ago about how to put copyright information on your images, how to protect your images as much as possible. Pretty much what I said in there was use low-res images, put your name on it, put copyright on it, put your website on it, put proof across it if you want to. Of course, whenever you say something, then you're forced to take a stand on something. Within 2 months, somebody emailed me, and I get this happening quite a bit, and said, on this Facebook group, there is a picture that looks just like yours. Is this your picture, and did you give them permission to use it? Oh, no. So I went to the Facebook group. I could see the picture on the little thumbnail. Yep, it looked like one of my images. I joined the group, and I'll use the name of it. The name of the group was, and I'm not using the exact name, but Whine and Complain About Everything and Anything. Yeah, a really high-class group. And I got accepted to the group, went on, and sure enough, it was one of my images. Now, it was bad enough that it was one of my images. They'd cropped off all the copyright information that they could possibly crop off. The stuff that was left, you couldn't even tell what it was. But they had taken such a low-res image. When they cropped it, it looked horrible, just horrible. But it was effective because the group was growing like crazy and people obviously were signing on because, well, my beautiful print. At least that's what I like to think about. So I immediately messaged the admins. There was 4 of them. And I says, this is my image. You're using it without my permission. I have a letter that I actually send out, and I just take the pieces of it that I need. If you would like to use this image, I'd be happy to sell it to you. Please contact me at your earliest convenience or remove the image immediately. Sent it out to them. Nothing happened. Several days later, because I was accepted to the group, I was able to put a post on the group where I said the exact same thing. Only I addressed it to the admins, and I mentioned in there I had contacted you privately in a message, and nobody has gotten back to me, so I am now posting here. Now, before I did any of this, I also took screenshots to make sure that I had copies of it, so I knew what it looked like, so I knew that I could prove that was their group. So I did everything that I could possibly do, because I knew that one of 2 ways was going to happen. Well, one way happened, and nothing happened. They didn't do a thing. Didn't hear from them, no response, no nothing. So I then went to Meta, the owners of Facebook, and I contacted them on their copyright violation site or whatever, and told them that one of my images was being used without my permission on this group, gave them the group's name, gave them a link to the group, gave them a link to the picture on my website so they could see the actual picture, they could see the copyright information, sent it all out with all the information they requested. Next day, got a message back from them saying, thank you for contacting us. Can you please prove you are who you say you are? Okay, so I sent them a copy of my business license. I sent them a copy of a whole bunch of stuff that they asked for. Next day, got actually 2 emails back. One saying, we don't believe you are who you say you are. And the second one saying, we don't believe that that's actually your image. Well, what more do you want? 25 emails later, back and forth between Meta or Facebook and myself, and they did a zippo. They did not help at all. Now, this is a company that does ridiculous things online and will ban people for stupidest reasons or pull ads for the stupidest reasons off of their marketplace, and they wouldn't do anything. I proved everything. I took a picture of it on my wall in a frame. I sent them a link. I did everything I could possibly do, and they just ignored me. A couple days later, I got a very nasty email or a message, put it up here, from one of the admins or the owner or whatever it was of the site. And they were just rude and just, downright, well, for a site like that, what do you expect? And they finally took my picture down. But what can you do as a photographer? What can you do when your stuff is being used without your permission? Honestly, truthfully, at that point, you're screwed. There's not a lot you can do, especially with somebody like that. A bigger company usually understands that there could be a repercussion because they've stolen your image. They can usually understand that they've done something wrong. They may either take it down immediately or they'll pay you. I've had both happen. I had one company take it down, apologize, and they said, that's the end of it. We won't do anything more. If you want to do anything more, please contact our lawyer. I was happy it was done. I had another company that argued with me, so I sent them a bill. They actually ended up paying the bill. So it just depends upon the different companies. But usually individuals, they just don't care. Now, again, as soon as you say something happens that, yeah. Just after I posted that video as well, a local person came in to get some printing done. They came in and showed me an image that they had, quote unquote, purchased. It had copyright across it, had the photographer's name on the bottom of it, and they wanted me to make a big print of this little tiny thumbnail. I said, sorry, you can't do it. It belongs to somebody. Well, I purchased it. I said, well, if you purchased it, it wouldn't say copyright. If you purchased it, they would remove their name or at least have the name a little bit smaller, a little bit nicer looking on it. I said, I just can't. I said, it's against the law for me to do it. Now, could I have done it? Yeah. Would anybody have known? Probably not. But in my heart, I just couldn't have done it. So I told them. Now, after I told them, I was as nice as I could possibly be. As they were getting ready to leave, they mentioned to me, which kind of surprised me that they would say this. They said, yeah, that's what the other two places said too. Seriously? You've gone to two other places. They've told you the same thing, and now you're trying for another. So there's sometimes that you're just not going to win. There's just sometimes. Honestly, what can I tell you? Do what you can. I always tell people, get a good letter, get it written out properly. Either you write it or a friend, or even if you're at that level, maybe go to a lawyer and get them to write you a good letter so that you can send it out to these people online or in person or whatever. But after a certain point, you're just going to have to wash your hands of it and just say, sorry, I've lost on that one, and away I go. It's really not worth it for what you're going to get in return to take it any further up the ladder. I've threatened people. It's taken weeks on some cases, months on other cases. I've threatened people multiple times, and they just ignored me and they didn't respond or anything like that. There's just nothing you can do. Again, a big business, maybe. Medium business, maybe. Smaller business, maybe. Individual people, no. I think I told it in the past video. I did a wedding, and I actually had somebody come in with the print that had proof stamped on it. This was back in the days when we had proof, and we went chunk on it. And a person came in not knowing I was the photographer, even though my name was on the picture, and asked me to make 100 copies of it. And I said, you can't, because it's a proof only and you don't have permission. Then they started arguing, and then I had to mention to them I was the photographer. That's how I knew it. And they sort of crawled all over the place, and yeah. So there's only so much you can do, people. Really, there is. If you're concerned about people locally printing your stuff, and that's usually not a big issue, go around to your local labs and just introduce yourself. Tell them who you are. Tell them if anything comes in, you'd appreciate them not printing it if it says proof or anything like that on it. But after that, that's about all you can do. Take a nice relaxing walk. Take some deep breaths and just sort of, like I said, wash your hands of it. So until next time, have a great day. Hopefully this doesn't happen to you, but if it does, understand you're not alone. We'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye now.